Hey guys, I'm Mark 2 here, back with another video review, and today we'll be looking at another special item, which is the Flashback or Maniple head sculpt for Tony Stark. So sit back and stay tuned. Over the years, Bandai has already provided us with great iterations of Robert Downey Jr. in his Tony Stark persona. One which is the Tony Stark SH Figure Arts figure, and the other is the head sculpt that came with the Mark IV figure. Although they have really done a great job with their 3D printing and photoreal technology, which prints an accurate representation of the actor on their head sculpts, I can't help but feel that it's still not Hot Toys level. Of course, at this price point, who would expect such details as the Hot Toys? But Manipul or Flashback Studios has already solved that problem by giving us this head sculpt from Tony Stark. So as you can see, this is a much more accurate representation of Robert Downey Jr. in his Tony Stark persona. So let's look at more details. So the Flashback Studio head sculpt of Tony Stark came with this canister, which has the Flashback Studio logo on it. And Tony Stark's head came with several parts, namely the ball joint connector for the head, an adapter so that you can use the head sculpt for several types of figures, the neck joint, and the head sculpt itself. So let's compare head sculpts. Here we have the head sculpt from the Tony Stark SH Figure Arts figures, and here we have the Flashback Studio Tony Stark head sculpt, and this is the head sculpt that came with the Mark IV figure. So detail wise, all of them have great details, and Bandai really did a great job in capturing the likeness of Robert Downey Jr. However, it's really pales in comparison when you place it side by side with the Flashback Studio head sculpt. In fact, you may say that looking at these head sculpts, Bandai did a painting of Tony Stark, while Manipul really captured a lifelike detail in their head sculpt. If I'm not mistaken, this head sculpt was actually a shrunk down version of the Hot Toys Mark IV head sculpt that they released some years ago. So let's assemble the head. Assembling the head is fairly simple. Just attach the ball joint on the neck and attach the neck adapter on top of the ball joint. And here you can see that the head is mostly hollow. This is to give you an option to fit this head in several types of figures. And if the ball joint would not be able to fit on the figure, you may use blue tack. So just place the head on the adapter and we have the assembled head sculpt. This head sculpt is really amazing and it's almost creepy. It's as if I'm holding the real head of Tony Stark in my hands. So let's go on and place it on our Tony Stark figures. So the best candidate for this one is the Tony Stark figure that Bandai released. So here it is on the SH Figure Arts Tony Stark. You can adjust the neck height by adjusting the adapter and adjusting the head. If you push it too far down, you can just remove the adapter and then set the head carefully. So that's how it looks on our Tony Stark body. I have another Tony Stark body here, and here is how they compare. And that is quite a big difference. It really adds a lot of character to your Tony Stark figure. Now let's try it on the Mark IV. So to attach it on the Mark IV, just attach the neck with the armor piece exposed. Attach the neck adapter and attach the head. Again, it fits quite well on the Mark IV. And this is the Mark IV head for comparison. It really feels like a hot toy, miniature hot toy figure right now. So how about let's try it on other figures. So here's the reason why the head was hollow. Take for example, a Marvel Legends suited body. It has a really big ball joint compared to the ball joint of SH Figure Arts. But you can still use the Flashback Studio head because it has a big hollowed out head. And actually, it looks good on the Marvel Legends figure suited body. But if you want it to be more secure, I suggest that you get some blue tack and place the head on the suited body. So it really looks very good. And now we have a suited figure of Tony Stark. The head doesn't look too far in proportion to the Marvel Legends body. So it's a great fit in my opinion. Another body that we can use the head sculpt on is the John Wick body from Mafex. But since the ball joint of John Wick has a much bigger size than the ball joint of Tony Stark SH Figure Arts figure, it's best to remove the whole assembly of the Mafex John Wick figure until the ball joint in the neck, and then replace it with the neck from the SH Figure Arts Tony Stark figure. Then we can now place the adapter and use the ball joint, or rather the head sculpt from the Tony Stark figure. So this is how it looks attached to the Mafex John Wick figure. And it looks even better than the Marvel Legends suited figure. It really gives the figure a natural Tony Stark look in his suit. And finally, let's try the head sculpt on my Tony Stark custom body that I have made a while back. And I didn't bother to remove the neck, but this body is made from a bootleg Joker Suicide Squad SHF figure. And I think it also works well. But among these bodies that we've tried, I think the best one that we can use for a Tony Stark suited figure is the Mafex John Wick figure. In summary, although Bandai has already given us fantastic Tony Stark figures in the form of their Tony Stark and Mark IV head sculpts, this head sculpt from Flashback Studios will surely be a worthy addition to your collection. It will enable you to recreate Tony Stark in his suited body by using several figures, like the Marvel Legends and the several figures from Figma and Mafex. You can even have the option to use the Downtown Duo by SH Figure Arts. Overall, it is a purchase worth every penny that you spend on it. And if you want to get your copy, please visit VC Toy Shop, and I will include a link down in the description below. I surely hope that this video review helped you in deciding whether or not to get the Tony Stark head sculpt from Flashback Studios. Again, has been Amuro Mark II. Thanks for watching the video, and see you next time. Bye-bye.